Okay, we're live. So, welcome to Grumpy Vegan Grandad, and we have three people here that you may not be familiar with. They're all connected with the vaping world. One is an old friend of mine called Dan, aka Big D Vapes, and his two associates. Now, it's not a 3-on-1 scenario. We're all here to talk about vaping and to talk about something that happened to me when I did a video on my channel. And a friend of mine, Bohemian B, who's the moderator today, she showed the video to a friend, and this friend was astounded that I was vaping, even though I'm vegan, which sort of like, you know what I mean? It made me feel, whoa, I mean, what's wrong with that? Bohemian's on. Nice to see you, Bohemian. So what I'd like to do is just to get you all to introduce yourselves. We'll start with Dan at the top, and then we'll go around in a clockwise.
Cheers, Dan. Well, I'm Danny. I'm based in Home Firth. I have a vape shop that's been open since last June. I used to be a security guard back in Oldham, and I hated my job. I also hated Oldham as well. It's a bit of a shithole. So I sold up my gaff, moved over to Home Firth. Couldn't be asked traveling over to Oldham to do my job. So I thought, what do I want to do? I want to do something that I'm really interested in, and that sort of saved my life, which is vaping. So I started an online store just to get a bit of money together, eventually to open my bricks and mortar store, and I've been going ever since, which started last June. And then from that, I've got more involved in the vaping community with the likes of Mark, Benny Vapes, and Ian. We've got our own shows. We're also reviewers. You can check our channels out on YouTube. And that's it, basically. So, yeah, I'll hand it over to Mark.
You all right? So I'm Benny Vapes. As Danny said, I'm just a normal person. I have a normal job. I'm a gas engineer. And I've been vaping quite a while. And then just decided to set up a channel about vaping. Met Danny, met Ian, also JP, who's in chat at the moment. He's on our show on a Sunday night. And that's it, really. Just basically a normal person that decided to get into reviewing because I'd bought stuff and some of the stuff never worked like they said it will when I were on watching reviews. So I thought I'll show my point of view. And then I do a couple of lives on a Wednesday night for DIY e-liquid making.
What time is that on? If you just tell us the times as well. So
right, that's on at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday on my channel. And then we do Northern Union Vape Show on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock, same again on my channel. So if you look for Benny Vapes, you'll find us on there. And that's basically it, really. That's not a great deal to much else to tell you. And I'll pass it to Ian.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Thank you, Dan, for having us on.
No problem.
Hello, everyone in chat. Yeah, basically, I'm just your everyday chap. Basically, I'm a coach driver for a living. Been doing it for about 3.5 years, something like that. Not working at the moment, as are not most people, I'm guessing. Vaping about 4 years. Smoke habit was about 20-25 cigarettes a day. Decided that I've tried many things. Tried nicotine patches. Tried all the normal standard stuff, I guess, that most people have. Vaping just worked. I mean, I dual used for a little while, and then been vaping since. So yeah, that's I've got a YouTube channel, which is a hobby. Just it's only a small YouTube channel. Just do reviews and a live show on a Monday evening, which on the Home Improvement channel on YouTube.
Well, everyone's got to start somewhere, mate, and that's the thing. I mean, this is what it's all about. Is if you've got a passion or if you've got something that people may find interesting, information for people, get a YouTube channel, start putting it out there. I mean, it's no sign of it's not a popularity contest having a YouTube channel at all. It's about getting a message out there, and if people agree with you, they click on, they want to hear more. So I think we're all in the same game when it comes to trying to get information out to people.
Yeah.
So I mentioned before about what the stream is about. Is somebody basically said, you know, you're vegan, why are you vaping? But before we go into that, I just need to ask you guys. So we're speaking on the same page. What do you think veganism is in your mind? We'll start with Dan.
Yeah, I would say it's abstaining from using any animal products, especially more so in your diet. And basically, that's it in a nutshell, I would say.
Okay, and Benny?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. You just don't use animal products, full stop. You know, it's a little bit further on than being a vegetarian, where where they sort of cut out a lot of things, but then you've got next step where you're not doing anything to do with animal-based products.
Okay.
Who are the ones that eat fish but don't eat meat?
Pescatarian.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I call them pescatarians. Yeah.
Pesky.
Yeah. And Ian, what's your view on it, buddy?
But yeah, basically, as those guys said, but all I would say is obviously about the whole cruelty part to animals, etc. On top of what they said, really, it's that's what I would put it down to. I'm no expert, of course, but
okay. Yeah. I mean, we are getting the questions through, so I'm seeing questions here. So guys, don't think I'm ignoring you. I can see your questions, and we will come to it soon. So basically, veganism is all about animal rights. It's got nothing to do with health. It's got nothing to do with environment. However, those sides of it are sort of side effects, positive side effects of veganism. Veganism isn't about diet. It's not about health. I can be a vegan and eat vegan hamburgers. I can eat vegan chocolate every day. I can drink cans of Coke every day. I'm still a vegan. So it's not about health. It's about animal rights and not using animals as products. Yeah. So that's what it's all about. So that helps us with this discussion as well, because it is nothing to do with health, but it is part of what I'm thinking about as we talk about, because obviously we've got to now establish whether the vaping products and vaping machinery, do we call it machinery, vaping hardware, is it vegan? So I'll open that up to you guys. Is there anything non-vegan?
In the EU, well, TPD compliant regulated products, there is no animal testing whatsoever. However, in America, because it's all under the FDA, they also do tobacco and all that malarkey. Anything that's new regarding tobacco products, it is tested on mice. Now, from research in the UK, nothing's tested on animals regarding vaping products. So that's what you've
seen evidence of this.
I've seen documents from certain authorities that have said that there's no testing done on animals for vaping products, regulated products within the UK.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of vegans smoke. I mean, there's a channel that I'm friendly with, guys from up here. Those vegan guys, they both smoke cigarettes, they both smoke tobacco, and maybe they may move over to vaping if they know that it's you know what I mean. It is totally vegan. So you're saying any of the products that I buy in the petrol stations, in shops like yours, I buy online, they will not have been tested on animals, or they will be totally vegan. There's no animal products in any of these vapor liquids.
It's basically plant-based, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, you've got VG, which is vegetable glycerine.
Right.
So that's plant-based. You know,
okay.
You wouldn't say vegetable if it wasn't plant-based. You've got PG in it, which is propylene glycol, which is a chemical mixture to make it, you know, so it's not, whether it's, you know, when it was first done, I can't tell you if it's ever been tested on animals.
This is the thing, in the early days, it was tested on mice.
Yeah, so probably years ago it was, but now it's just a chemical component that's made together to make propylene glycol. And then you've got your nicotine in it, which same again, it's not, it's like a chemical base. It's extracted from the plant and made into a compound to put in. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, there's only would be your PG that's probably been done years ago to find out whether it is or not. I can't tell you that, but you know,
there is evidence to suggest in America it was tested on mice, and still to this day, the FDA tests new tobacco. Well, it's classed under tobacco, new tobacco products on mice. Now I know that in the UK, because we're part of the TPD, that does not happen.
What's the TPD?
TPD is the authority that overrules all the vaping products within the. Is it just the UK or the EU as well, Mark?
No, EU.
Yeah,
EU,
I know
TPD.
Yeah, some countries within the EU though, they don't adopt every single thing of the TPD. Like, for example, tank sizes. In the UK, we've got to stick to a 2 mil tank size. Where in Germany, you can have a 5 ml one. And that's done because they think if it's a 2 ml tank, then if a teenager gets their hands on it, they'll vape less nicotine. Obviously, that's a bit stupid because they just keep refilling the tank. But yeah, that's it basically. The TPD are there just to give you a few restrictions.
As Chris has just put in chat, it's Tobacco Products Directive that we use.
Yeah, that's the one.
I was sitting there thinking, well, I know TPD, but what does it stand for? I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, Chris in chat there, he's got his own shop. He's got like 14,000 subs on his YouTube channel, and he also got his own e-liquid line, which is what I sell in my store, EVC. Right,
so say hi to EVC. Just so we're including people here, I've got a little message from LJ McCutcheon. She says, "Grumpy vegan granddad, my sis went vegan. However, I couldn't do it because she got really ill for it. Then I would suggest to you, LJ McCutcheon, that she should have researched it a little bit more. That you any new diet, you've got to research it and get your information before you.
Can I tell you who his sister is?
Go on, who is it?
Martin McCutcheon.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
All right. Hello there. We've got celebs on.
Yeah.
And also AMF 90. Veganism is all about the animals. You can be very healthy or unhealthy. You can be vegan and very environmentally friendly or very non-environmentally friendly, which is true. It's quite correct. Which leads me right on to the next sort of subject I want to discuss with you guys. And it is vaping safe? I want to just point out the recent American deaths. I have researched this. I do know the answer to this, but I would like you guys to give me the answer rather than me speak about it. So, is vaping safe?
Yeah, 95% safer. Well, in America, so basically, the Public Health England are responsible for overseeing all our medicines within the NHS to see if it's fit for consumption. They've done tests and research, and they've come to the conclusion it's at least 95% safer than smoking. They could say it's more, but for some reason they're not allowed to, so they stuck it at 95% safer than smoking. A lot of the media portray vaping as being bad, because obviously the media love a bit of hype and what have you. And what's happening in America is that because there's a lot of these pod systems available now, drug dealers are getting these pods that you can put into your device, and they're putting in THC oil. Now, the main component in that oil is vitamin E acetate. And when you inhale that, it can lead to death or really bad illnesses.
Yeah, Danny, we'll just point this out that there's two different. We vape nicotine. There is two different lines that are drawn, and there's vapors who vape nicotine and nicotine products, and then there's your CBD vaping, which is what Danny's on about. Which is over here. We can't do THC, so we can get the CBD products in a vapor form, which is same as what this is. Instead of having nicotine in it, it has the CBD compound. But in America, they can have full spectrum THC, which is the bit that gets you high and that. And that's
the good bit.
Yeah, the good bit, basically. That's what they've put, the THC, but they've done it in an oil. An oil is for the carrier, and that's what you can't do because you can't vape oil.
Yeah, because it goes into your pockets, into your lungs, and your body naturally tries to get rid of it, and it can put holes in your lungs and stuff like that. So obviously these wankers are going to the drug dealers, buying these pods with the vitamin E acetate oil, which carries the THC. And because they put it into the vaping device and then vaping it and then dying from it, the media pick up that vaping's killing people. But if you stuck to the regulated legal products that are all regulated and all tested, you wouldn't die from it. And nobody's ever died from it. So it's just the media building this big hype up.
Yeah.
When really the real truth is it's illegal substances that they're vaping that's killing people.
No, I've heard something different. So whether one of you wants to confirm this, is that also in the regulated vaping world in the US, there is one chemical that was linked to the popcorn lung.
Chris
is that what you mean?
Chris has just put that in.
Let's have a look. Popcorn lung.
Yeah, it was a total myth.
Right.
Which is diacetyl.
So that's what EVC. Hey, it works. Look, I'm getting all technical now. Look at this. Yeah. So it's impossible to contract it from vaping. So yeah, and that's the story I heard. That
Yes.
that actual chemical that caused that problem is actually banned in the UK. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, as is in with the vegan diet, and like Mr. McCutcheon has just said, is that sometimes people fail and some people have problems with it, but it's got to be done right. You know what I mean? You can't be sort of. And what about these people who are mixing their own stuff and selling it on the black market? I mean, in the UK. I mean,
that's just it should be done in a clean room, and all regulated products are in some sort of clean room. But I'm not saying there's none anywhere that aren't, but this is the thing. This is why you should always go to a dedicated vape shop or supermarkets. I mean, there's a few places I've seen, petrol stations, for example, or on the markets, and the bottles that are clearly been homemade with their own label stuck on it, and that's the stuff that you do want to keep away from, unless you know what's inside that. For example,
I mean,
he does his own.
I mean, I was going to say that. I mean, I can go to my local off license now, and I can buy some vodka, and it might be antifreeze in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there is always that risk that you're going to get fake products. So what you're saying, Dan, is find a supplier like yourself who's
a dedicated vape shop,
dedicated to it, and then you're pretty much on the right path.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that only vape shops, dedicated vape shops, should be able to sell vape products, not your off licenses, not your petrol stations, because they know jack shit about vaping. And I think this is why there's a lot of issues these days, where if you had it for just dedicated vape shops only, there'd be, people would have a better understanding on these vape products. So, yeah,
it's the knowledge base, isn't it? That's what's so important about the shops, I think.
Yeah, but the media do not help, because the media is so corrupt. They just like all the hype and all these, scaring people all the time.
I thought that would make you smile, Benny.
Yeah. Basically, what you've got, like I say, what you get is you get your vegetable glycerin, you get your PG, you get nicotine, and then you get food flavourings. And that is literally what's in a vaping product. But what you've got to, like I say, Danny's saying, you're supposed to do it years ago when it first started up. It's a cottage industry when it first started. Mm-hmm. So the only e-liquids you could get were imported from China. So your vape devices and a lot of your e-liquids were imported from China. Then you got your little people who was mixing at home that started making flavors, and that's where the flavors developed from just a single strawberry, a single banana, a single mint, and went to become like we've got now, where you can get, a cheesecake flavor, strawberry cheesecake.
What are those flavors? I mean, I as you know, me and Dan are HGV drivers. We deliver to some of these places that do flavors and stuff. So all the flavorings are the same as what you flavor food with. Am I right?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Capella.
A lot of them are natural as well.
TFA. Flavor West. Most of this goes in candies. In your candy sweets. That's literally all. It's just a different flavor, and most of it is just a flavoring in a PG to carry it. So it's just made in a flavor house where they add different chemicals to make them into a flavoring. So you get your banana, and then people just mix them together to make your vape taste like different things. And that's where you're getting that. It used to be a cottage industry where people was making them at home. They were making it in your house. You learned them years ago that it was, bathtub, make it in a bathtub, because people just made it. There was nothing there. But then it moved on to an industry as it is now, where I can't say everything, but probably 95% of e-liquid that's made is made in a clean environment. That's all a clean room. They wear masks, they wear smocks, they wear gloves, they wear, everything else.
Can you answer that question? Because I've heard this as well.
Mental harmful when combusted.
No.
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not a major expert.
No.
I won't say it's what you get. What they're saying it's dangerous is if it gives you off your diacetyl, your acetylene propane, but yeah, an ISO rated clean room. That's what they are. They're ISO rated clean rooms. Usually, but I think it's 5 the bottom, and then it goes up to a 9.
But don't you have to submit all the ingredients that you're using for your particular juice to register your juice line and stuff like that?
Are all tested?
Yeah, they're all tested. But you also, when you create a juice line, you have to get that submitted to be approved as well. So they know what's in that liquid. So therefore, every single liquid that you buy, whether it's menthol, fruit, tobacco, whatever, it's all safe for human consumption. And
it's like a certificate or something, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we also know it's not been tested on animals these days. I'm not saying it never happened. I know in America, new tobacco products can be tested on mice, but in the UK, that's not the case. And I've seen documents to suggest that as well.
I mean, when you go down this animal testing thing, there's lots of medical procedures that even vegans have to partake in, inoculations, vaccines. I mean, some are refusing to have any new vaccines now, but some are tested on animals, and it's a real bone of contention that sometimes maybe someone will have to succumb and do this. But veganism does give you wherever. There's a key word in the vegan literature on the philosophy, that is wherever it is practicable. So it means that I can't not have a car, even though there might be animal components in there. I can't not have a car. It's not practicable for me to not have a car, as it is with other stuff. You know what I mean? So it doesn't go down that line of being. It's not a perfect philosophy. It's not a perfect lifestyle by any means. It's just purposeful abuse of animals that we're against. So again, it's like so some of this may have been tested on animals, but what about the tobacco industries? I mean, there's been a lot of research on many years ago when they were promoting tobacco, that they used a model, right, to promote it, like getting top sports stars like Babe Ruth, who died of cancer, and doctors to smoke certain cigarettes. And now they're using the very similar thing in the meat industry. They're using that exact same thing, sponsoring big sports things like McDonald's and all that stuff, and all this promoting stuff. But it seems to me that they tried a little kickback on vaping, but failed, and now they're coming in on the game. They've been in the game a very long time. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically, with regards to advertising, we got lumps with tobacco, did vaping. So we can't advertise on sports cars like they used to do. John Player Special used to go around. Your darts were all sponsored by it, and they'd be all smoking and things like that. We can't do that. Because it's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that big advertisement for on a car. You can do other things. You can advertise it, but getting back to where it's that they used to promote it like that, you've got to promote it somehow. Everybody's got to promote it somehow. Whether you're vegan, that you have someone big celebrity stood on a stage that's advertising. This is my latest burger that I brought out. That's all advertising. Everybody's got to advertise.
But do you know something that happened though? I mean, I've been vaping from the beginning. I remember being sat in a pub and someone had one. The first one I'd ever seen. It was like seeing my first ever BMX in the 1980s. It was like, and I said, "What is that?" And I said, "Let me have a go." And I had a go of it, and I felt like Peter Kay. I thought, this is the future. Yeah. Straight away, this is the future. And I ended up getting one off a guy, paid about 40 quid for it. It was only one of the little stick ones. It was like, technology was new. I don't know how old ago, it must have been 8 or 9 years ago. But it seemed to spread so rapidly without any advertising. There were no TV adverts, there were no radio adverts, there were no boardings. And it just went wild because people had this alternative to smoking.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah. It was just word of mouth. Do you know what I mean? Someone had it in, like you said, you've seen him in pub, and he says, "Oh, what's that?" And you go, "Oh, I can have the." And at that time, it went smoking ban were coming in. Yes. When it kicked off properly, because at that time you could still vape in pubs. Yes. Do you know what I mean? So it was a weird lot of people getting round the smoking ban. Yes. But then when they tried it, they were like, "Wait a minute, this is all right. Is this?" And then it just grew from there. So that's where
you don't smell. Your breath doesn't smell. I'll tell you something. Since I've been vaping, my teeth have gone white. So that's number one. no yellow fingers, right? My clothes smell fresh. And I don't know whether, I mean, Dan's on my Facebook. I've just posted up a thing. I've never run in my life. And for the last 3 weeks, because the gym's shut, I've been doing a bit of running. I'm improving. I'm getting some pace on me running. My family all smoke. My wife smokes tobacco still. My stepson smokes tobacco still. And all I hear is them coughing every morning. I haven't coughed for years. So it must be better. It's just, it's anecdotal evidence, but it's there.
Your body's renewing itself. All your blood vessels are going back to normal. I've got a friend we call him the Bobster. He's another character within the vaping community, and he has is it COPD where you can't breathe?
Yes.
And he got diagnosed that. Yeah, he got diagnosed about a year ago, and at the time he was friends within the vaping community with other people, and he said to the nurse, "Can I vape?" And she went, no, don't do that, just quit smoking, and then that's it, just stop and get your lungs back to normal. Anyway, he went home and he couldn't hack it, so he started vaping. He went back 6 months later after vaping, and his lungs had gone to 88% capacity again from 40 something, and that's from vaping. So it's helped him to kick that habit of tobacco and get his lungs more or less back to normal, and he's 60-odd-year-old. So yeah, it's just a lot better than smoking. I won't recommend it to anybody who doesn't smoke. It's just basically for people who are smoking to stop the tobacco and start vaping. But the thing is, though, a lot of governments around the world, they don't want you vaping. They want you smoking because they earn absolutely billions of money from the tobacco companies paying the government taxes. So like in America, for example, all these individual states every year go into debt with these banks, and they rely on the tobacco companies paying them loads of taxes to pay off these debts. Now, because people have started to vape a lot more, these tobacco companies aren't making the money they used to do, and therefore they can't pay the massive taxes to these little states that they used to do. So now all these states are becoming bankrupt. So they do not want you vaping. Now, also in America as well, all these insurance companies and all these health insurance companies make money off you being ill. So that's another reason they want you to carry on smoking as well.
Boom, right. So there we have something as well, because this is something I always push in the vegan side of things as well, the vegan health side of things. Even though I say it's not part of it, it is a way of me sort of pushing it to people. Is that doctors are there to repair damage that's already done. They're there to hand out tablets that are patented so that the pharmaceutical companies get money. That's why doctors have never been nutritionally trained. A doctor is not nutritionally trained. If he was nutritionally trained, he would tell you to have a plant-based diet, because that will stop the 4 biggest killers in the Western world, which is heart disease, stroke, cancer, type 2 diabetes. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that they don't want this because it doesn't earn them money. We need to be a sick population to make the government money, because they're all in cahoots with the pharmaceutical companies, the richest companies in the world. They're in cahoots with the government, with the doctors. This is why they didn't want teaspoons of sugar on the side of packaging. They said it was because it wasn't an official measure. But the real reason is that we know what a teaspoon is and we can visualize it. However, when someone says there's 12 grams of sugar in that, how many teaspoons is that?
Yeah.
It's 3 teaspoons. I know it's 4 grams to a teaspoon, but you've got to start doing maths, and it's not as easy. If someone says, "Oh, there's 15 teaspoons of sugar in that can of Coke," you're going to go, "Whoa, hold on a minute." Do you see what I'm saying? So coming in, and it's the same with everything else that loses the money. They will try ways of slamming down on it. I mean, I was expecting a big tax on vaping, but they didn't do it, and that really surprised me.
Yeah, but Donald Trump, though, he's sort of seen his ass a little bit, and he's thought, hang on a minute, all these, the FDA and all these other states are trying to ban vaping, but he's thinking, as a businessman, he's thinking, I could make a lot of money on this. So I think he's sort of, looking back on what's just happened and thinking, shit, we should, legalize vaping more, even, rather than try and ban Flavours and make more money off it. But in the UK, for example, as well, obviously, the government and our tax money pays for the NHS. So obviously, the more people are ill, the more money we've got to pay, and the more money the government's got to pay. So they don't want you being ill, and that's why they promote vaping, I think, more than what the Americans do.
Yeah.
But still saying that, even though the tobacco use has gone down in the UK, the government still make 14 billion, and that's after taking 4 billion for NHS costs, treating people with tobacco-related illnesses, and $1 billion for street cleaning. After all that, they still make 14 billion. So tobacco is a massive fucking business, even in the UK. But obviously, because we pay for our own healthcare, and it's not like America where it's all insurances, they don't want us really being ill. But at the same time, they want to make enough money from tobacco to, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a fucking
complex, a catch-22 situation, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's the point I'm making, basically. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, that's another thing as well. Is what I wanted to ask you guys is that I rang up smoking cessation because I thought I want to get off these e-cigarettes. I feel like I'm trapped on the e-cigarettes. I'm still addicted to nicotine. Okay, and I rung up smoking cessation. I spoke to the top guy on the Oldham one, and he come back to me and says, "Why do you want to give them up?" And I'm like, well, you tell me. He says, well, there's nicotine can't harm you. The 95% less harmful than cigarettes. You're likely to get more damage to your lungs walking outside near a busy road. Why do you want to give them up? And I said, well, I just don't like the thought of being a slave to something. And he said, well, all I can suggest is just reduce the amount of tanks you fill up in a day. And I said, right. Which leads me on to another question. I mean, okay, Dan, it's not in your best interest to get people to quit vaping. Yeah. However, I think a program where I've not seen it yet is like the amount of nicotine. Is there not a program that could be done where you can break your nicotine down week by week?
You can do it yourself.
Practically, but this is what I mean. When we talked about veganism, we said it's inconvenient. It's a pain.
Yeah, but you can go from that. You can go from 18 milligram or 20 milligram nicotine salts, and you cut it down. Like someone said in your chat earlier that she finds herself chain vaping a lot more. You know, how does she get down to 0 milligram? Well, what you do is you wean yourself down to where you don't get that craving as much. Do you know when if you went like now, you take a vape, and while we've got an hand, we all do it. We're all there. We're sat there. We chain vape. But can you now go if you wanted to leave your vape at home, go out for your run? I don't know how long you go for a run for, but when you get back, was first thing, do you feel like you need a vape? Right.
And also, when I lose wagon cabs, they're pretty big, aren't they, Dan? You can lose a lot of shit in them. I can lose hundreds of pounds and stuff. When I lose my vape, it's like, fuck, where is it? Where's my vape?
I am a bit like that.
So I've still got an addiction, and I've still got an uncomfortable slavery towards it, which is what I don't like.
What milligram do you use, Dan?
I'm on the lowest one now. Is it 6 or 3?
Three, yeah. You see, the thing is, like now you got the nicotine salts, which are a different form of nicotine to what the freebase is. And nicotine salts are designed for your little pod systems and not your big devices that produce loads of clouds. So when you first started vaping years ago, there was only freebase nicotine allowed. And when you had like an 18 milligram one, for example, it'd be quite harsh, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Where these nicotine salts, these are 20 milligrams, and they're not designed to be harsh on your throat, but they give you that nicotine that your body needs. Where on freebase, you'll be vaping a lot more to get the satisfaction your body needs compared to the nicotine salt. So when somebody comes into my store, straight away I'll recommend a pod system with a nicotine salt, because I know, like myself, if you have too much, you feel a bit woozy, you put your device down. Mm-hmm. Where with freebase nicotine in these sub-ohm devices, you're on it all day trying to get your nicotine, and you're continually vaping all the time. So this is why I always recommend pod systems with salts. Therefore, you're not vaping all day. You get your nicotine fix, you put it down.
Really? So I need to look at that then, don't I?
Yeah, but no, you could go from, if you're on 3 now, you could try, because I'm assuming you get short fill bottles. Right, so you're buying them like that. So you're buying a 10 ml bottle.
Yeah.
Right. So if you went on to buying a short fill, which is like this,
right?
All that has got in is VGPG and some flavouring. There's no nicotine in that because you have to add it to yourself with a little bottle.
Right.
And you add nicotine yourself. You could, if you wanted to cut out the nicotine, you could go on to just vaping that.
Right. Okay. This leads me on to something else that we talked about earlier while we weren't live, and that was different techniques for giving up smoking. And I tried what's the antidepressant one called?
Pantry.
Oh, what the tablet? Was
Yeah,
it, I forgot
Oh,
what it's called.
Silverpram, is it called?
Sorry?
Is it Shamprax?
No, Shampix. No, Shampix.
Shampix.
Right, no, Shampix was the one that blocks the receptors, blocks the pleasure
Yeah,
receptors.
that's right.
But
Yeah.
it was the other one. What was the other one?
I don't know. I never tried.
There was one. What the other one did was the reason they found it out. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody will tell me on here.
Zaban.
Sorry,
Zaban. JP's saying, is it?
Zyban. That's the one.
Oh
That's
yes,
the
yeah.
one. Now, the way they discovered Zyban was in America. They give very, very low dosage of what they called Zyban. That's the one, and it was like an antidepressant, but very, very mild. But what they noticed was most of these inmates were giving up smoking. So then they realised that this buzzing, this dopamine receptor, that nicotine buzzes as well, just gently all the time, it put you off having cigarettes. So what had happened, you'd take the tablets and after so long, you'd have a cigarette. And because you was getting nothing off it, you wouldn't smoke. And it did work like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you, Benny, is if I start having something with no nicotine in, I'm not going to use it, am I? So, yeah, I don't know.
It's an habit.
Sorry,
yeah, it's the habit as well.
It's an habit, isn't it?
It's the old
habit. Yeah, it's a reward, but to me, it's a reward system. I think, right, okay, let's do this stream. Let's say we weren't allowed to sort of vape here and now in front of the screen. We said, don't vape. We do this, and then reward myself. I'll go and have a vape. Yeah. And it's like, right, okay, I'll get to the services on the M60, then I'll have a vape. It's like a little reward for me. And that is still the sensibility that you've got.
Yeah, but you're not doing where you were smoking, where you think, I've got to have a cigarette, and you'd be biting people's heads off. Do you know?
Yeah, because now I can get away with it more. I mean, I've sat in a cinema with my mate, and we've both been like vaping and blowing it down our tops. You know what I mean? So we won't get caught. But it's like you can get away with vaping because it's not that pungent that people discover it straight away. So I feel that we can sort of, it's a constant thing. And like a few people have said in the thing, Helen and all the other guys, that it's something you can do all the time. And is that a good thing or is it a bad thing or is it because you're not getting satisfied? Yeah.
It can be too convenient sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure, isn't it? That's the thing. Yeah. It's a guilty pleasure. I enjoy vaping. It stops me from doing other things. I mean, I used to be a big drug addict. I mean, cocaine was my drug, and I spent literally thousands on it. And that led me to have more alcohol and then more cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And this device and all the other ones that I've got with the regulated e-liquid inside it has stopped me from doing all them things. And I feel so much healthier from it. It is unbelievable. The only thing I need to knock down is the actual food that I'm consuming. So hopefully
we'll be moving on to that later anyway. So you're not getting away with it that easy.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, anybody on chat now, anybody who's watching now, you've got any questions, start firing them off, and we'll get them up and try and answer them. I know you've been throwing a few up while we've been talking, but if you've got any particular questions now, start throwing them up now.
But so, I think if you wanted to stop, you could probably stop easier than what you would have done by totally going cold turkey on cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, I tend to agree. I've never successfully done that yet, obviously, but
it's never. You see, the thing is, it's never been in my mindset. What you've got to do when you give up any addictive substance is say, right, I am now going to stop. Yeah. But I've never physically thought, right, I'm going to try and leave this at home and see how I do. I mean, I haven't. What's happened with me is if the batteries run out and I haven't brought my charger cable and I'm out all day and it's been early in the morning, I've scrounged cigarettes off people and had cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, and in the early days when I started vaping, I'd keep pulling them because my wife still smokes, she still leaves them about. I'd be like, I'd get home and like my vapor would be dead. I'd just grab a ciggy out of a packet and have a ciggy. But even got to the point where I was coming home and having a cigarette because it was a bigger rush. So then I thought, no, this is stupid. So I went back down to the vape shop. I said, right, put me back up to 18 milligrams. Yeah. And that's not the problem.
Yeah. But that's when you've got to find your comfort. You've got to find your thing to do it. And you've got to physically want to drop it down. go from your 18 to your 10, your 12, to your 6, to your 3, and then thinks a lot of vapors just go down to doing 0 milligram just
That's
for.
That's what I do in my store. So I'd always recommend start off with a pod system with 20 milligram. Then after a month or two, drop down to 10. And then once you've mastered that, then get a different device or a different device to use Freebase. Or you can still use Freebase in your pod system, what you originally bought, and go down to 3 milligram. And I've got so many customers in the past 8 months since they've opened that are now on 0, and they started off on 20 milligrams salts. So if you've got a good vape shop like Big D Vapes, you can have a good system of getting down to.
See, that's the other option with a short fill, obviously, isn't it? Is you got your 10 mil nicotine shot. If you wanted to go from, rather than having to go from 3 to 0, you can go from 3 to 1.5.
Yeah, so just
then you can drop. Then you can drop. So just put half a shot in rather than a whole nicotine shot.
Yeah, and also I think Dan buys the 10 mil bottles, don't you?
Yeah. I buy a pack for like a tenner. I buy so many for a tenner.
How many do you get for a tenner?
I get 6, I think, or I get 5 and a 5 and a wick.
And what brand is the nicotine? It is the liquid.
It is. Good question. While I'm looking, just answer that question there, by both.
Yeah. Do you find that you vape more when around other vapors or e-cigs? I would say I don't vape more, but yeah, if I do see somebody smoking or somebody vaping in front of me, I would probably at some point go for my vape device. Yeah.
I think that's just an habit, though. That's just a conscious thing.
You know what?
See someone do it.
The thing is, though, there's that many other things in the world that are far more worse for than vaping. It's them that we need to concentrate on. Like, if you look at the top 5 killers in the whole world, it's cigarettes, it's alcohol, it's sugar, and even peanuts kills more people than what vaping's ever done.
Yeah. KingofVapes.com is the website on the packet.
King of Vapes.
King of Vapes, yeah. Sales at luckyinternational.co.uk.
Yeah. So like you're on a budget range of juice there. No disrespect at all, but you're on a budget range of juice and it's helping to stop smoking, which is great. But once you get down to maybe 3 milligram or 0, and it's not
Vape World.
Vape World. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like different levels of vaping juice.
Quality.
Yeah.
Quality, yeah. So if you go down to 0 and it's not quite cutting it for you, if you go to a premium brand that tastes a lot better in flavour, that might replace that sort of urge for the nicotine part of it, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you send me a sample of one and let me see the difference then?
What flavour did you like?
Don't start laughing, Benny. I'm trying my best here, mate, to get some...
No, I'm laughing at Mo, bro.
Who is it? I'm laughing at Mo, bro.
Because he's just put seasoned vapors.
Right, I'm going to be
yeah, Mo, if you didn't, Mo Bro's another reviewer that's been around quite a long time. He's just asking a question there about.
Let me go through these questions. There we go. That's the one he was looking at.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when he's saying seasoned vape, because he's a seasoned vapor. He's been doing it. He's been 5.5 years. It's gone in cycles, because when we started, we were all on mouth to lung. Then we all wanted to chuck massive clouds. And then everybody's gone back now that they've started doing mouth to lung. I think what that is that people are finding that they can get, now with nicotine salts, you don't need the big clouds.
No, this is what I'm saying.
Anymore. Like you were saying earlier, Danny, it's the same thing really, isn't it? I agree.
So on that device there, that's going to give me loads of flavour and loads of clouds. But on this one, I'm going to get loads more nicotine instantly because I'm using nicotine salts that I can't use in this device because the coil's too big. So on this device, I'll be using it all day because I won't be getting the nicotine that my body needs. On this one, I'll get it within a matter of 5 minutes and then I'll put it down for a bit. And that's what people need to start doing, I think, until they get down to 0. And then once they're on 3 milligram or 0, go back up to these.
You see, this is the thing with me now. I'm sort of... It's like me being 52 years old. I'm not down with the kids anymore on music, right? And it seems I've been left behind with all this vaping stuff now. And it's like you're speaking a foreign language to me now, so I really need to sort of delve into it again and get some info. So I'm going to take a lot more notice of your channel to see what's going on.
See, a lot of vape shops, though, they're there to make money.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So they want you to keep going back and all that malarkey work. We've tried to remain loyal since day one because I've been duped in the past by other vape shops. And I thought, when I open mine, I want to be loyal. I want to give everybody the right information. And that's what's happened so far. And I've had like I said before, I've had so many people come in. I've put them on some sort of program to a point where now they're vaping zero. And some have stopped altogether. But also, they've also stopped drinking as well because cigarettes always taste better with a pint in your hand. Do you know what I mean? So they're interlinked, and also a bag of cocaine as well. You know, a few grams off fucking Bob from round the corner. That goes well with some drink and some fags as well. So when you go to vaping, you don't feel the need for the other things.
Yeah, yeah. So I think someone's just said something there about, you know, is it vegan? So I think we've established that vaping is vegan, number one.
Definitely.
And I think we've established that vaping is safe. So
it's safer. You can't say it's safe. You can say it's safer.
95%.
But I can walk over the road and get knocked down with a bus.
Well, his coach, if he's speeding, or he's been having some THC in one of his papers. Yeah.
So it's not. I can't. You can't. No one can say that it's 100% not going to do any harm.
Well, nothing is it? I mean, a glass of wine, they say, is not. It's safe. One glass of wine a week, but it's no one can say it's not going to do any harm.
Yeah, I mean, look at water from the tap. It's got fluoride in it.
Yeah,
yeah. You know what I mean? But you still have it.
And so you don't know, and you don't know whose body it's been filtered through either. So you know what I mean.
if you don't want to do anything, you just cut everything out. Do you know?
Yeah,
it's just a safer alternative than smoking cigarettes. Because everybody knows that smoking cigarettes gives you cancer.
Yeah, and not only that,
they've also done things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Why? So it was the World Health Authority that brought up that they did loads of studies. The World Health Authority, what they do is they get all the scientific peer-reviewed literature, they put it all together, and like 150, 200 scientists all look through the research, and they come up with a result. And they said smoking was bad for you. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So what they've done as well recently, you're gonna love this, is that they've said the same organization has said that processed meats and red meats give you cancer. So on that premise, why aren't you three giving up?
Well, just let you know, I do not eat red meat. I only eat chicken, and the reason why is because I had a few Muslim friends of mine who I used to work with at Littlewoods, and they used to always say how bad it is for you and the bacteria can cause cancer and all that. And because of them saying that to me, I don't eat red meat. Now, the only time I've eaten red meat recently is when I've not been told about it. But I still continue to eat it. That's the downfall bit of it. But I do tend to stick to chicken. But I'm telling you right now, Dan, if you could come round my house every day and make me a vegan food at meals, I would,
of course I will.
Easily. Yeah. I'd easily adapt to it. It's just I'm lazy. I'm lazy, and I've been conditioned. Everybody has, haven't they? They've been conditioned to eat certain foods, and it's very hard to get out of that fucking thing.
I'd say, to be fair, I wouldn't believe anything that Wu said at the moment.
Yeah, the World Health Organization are corrupt fucking puppets.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Where's your proof? Where's your evidence?
Oh, there's all sorts that come out.
Online.
Been on about coronavirus and all sorts, aren't there? Do you know what I mean?
This is why Public Health England and them, they fucking clash all the time, because World Health Organization say one thing and then the Public Health England say another, and they clash.
Do you not think Public Health England are sort of associated with the government, and going back to what we were saying about agendas?
Not at all.
Because not as much. Because the World Health Organization is independent. It's not even vegan. It's not even, vegan. So
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that World Health Organization is all fucking corrupt. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are.
There's a few people in that organization that I know are fucking corrupt. But I'm not saying that what you've just said then about meat's untrue, because Public Health England and all them, I'm sure they've done studies into all that sort of stuff and came up with the same thing. I'm just saying that they do say a few things that Public Health England disagree with. And the thing with Public Health England is they'll do research and put it online for you to see, where with World Health Organization, they don't really do that with certain topics.
Yeah. I mean, of course there is. There's always a bit of corruption in everybody. I mean, I've just been watching Making a Murderer on Netflix.
It's brilliant.
But amazing. but it just shows you how far corruption can seep into it, and how like mind-blowing it is to think that these protectors of the people can be so devious and corrupt. It's like, so because it's there, it just speaks volumes about that it's not conspiracy theory when it comes to corruption. There is corruption there, but you can't accept every single conspiracy theory out there to be true. You need evidence, and
this is what I'm trying to say. This is why PHE provide evidence, so therefore you can say, oh well, yeah, they're fucking right, they've just shown me for myself on a video. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go on YouTube now, for example, regarding vaping, is it safe, they'll show you the exact effects using experiments for you to see. So yeah, go on YouTube and check out the vaping tests from Public Health England. It shows you right in front of you what they do.
Right, so if you go on Public Health England
on YouTube, type in Public Health England vaping, it'll show you the experiments right in front of you there on what damage smoking does to you and what damage vaping does to you, and there's a massive difference.
Okay, so everybody out watching there now, just go on that and have a look. If you any doubters out there, there's evidence there. Have a look at it and see what you think. Put your comments below.
Yeah. And you ask why red meat?
Sorry?
You ask why we haven't cut out red meat?
No, I'm asking. No, what I want to ask you is while we're in this sort of forum together, is how do you feel? Have you seen Dominion, for example, or Land of Hope and Glory, of any of those things that shows what really goes on with the animal abuse, and why this 52-year-old man is suddenly giving up something he loves so much and gone vegan? Does that not make you wonder why I've done this? And I'm thriving on it. I'm running. I'm lean. My BMI is perfect, so there's no issues with health. I'm just wondering why you've never thought about it. Is it because you've never spoke to a vegan before who's giving you facts rather than saying hug trees and peace and lentils, man? And
you do probably get that image of people saying that, don't you? Do you know what I mean? That's been an image all the way through from when I was a kid.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, how old are you, Benny? Sorry, I mean,
I'm 48 this year.
48. I'm 52. So we've come from the same sort of century, we could say.
Yes.
Couldn't we?
Do you know what I mean? So when it was, early 80s, when it sort of come out where there were all these tree huggers and all that lot, you got this impression of them, didn't you?
Definitely. I felt exactly the same. Definitely.
Yeah.
Sandal wearing hippies, you know?
yeah, basically. But it's same as giving up smoking, isn't it? It's your choice. Your choice to do that. I don't have to believe what you say. I still eat meat. I still eat, I eat red meat. I eat, I have been on a diet, and I can tell you that cutting out certain things that I've cut out lost me 2.5 stone, just by cutting out the drinks that I was drinking, the Monster Energy drink, having I still have meat with my salad, but I was eating salad for my dinner, and I lost 2 instead of having a sandwich and things like that. So I've dropped 2.5 stone by just changing my diet. But I still like my meat. I still enjoy meat.
Of course you do. Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. Of course it is. Meat is tasty, and nobody's denying meat is tasty. Even I say meat is tasty. My family have had bacon butties this morning, and the smell still goes boom straight to the stomach. But because I know, I mean, for example, Benny, 4 slices of bacon is 500 calories.
Yeah.
4 slices of bacon will fill an inch of your stomach up. So you consider you're eating 500 calories, which is almost a quarter of your daily calories to maintain your weight and not put weight on and not lose weight. It's very small. So you're going to eat more. And this is why, and this is another thing I want to come to, in the 70s, there weren't many fat kids running about.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. And I've thought about this deeply. And it's nothing to do with sugar, because we had as many sweets in the 70s as the kids have nowadays. There was still Coca-Cola. The sweets were cheaper and bigger. But the only thing that's changed from the 70s up until this point is the number of fast food places that are selling animal products. You look at it, McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, KFC, and how cheap it is now.
Yeah.
Our treat, Benny, in the 70s was to go to the chippy and get a bag of chips on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But now you can walk 10 yards and be buying kebabs and you know, and it's not sugar that's the devil. It's the meat that's causing the obesity.
It's the fried food, isn't it? It's fried
Well,
food.
fried food, fried meat, everything. Yeah.
I can say that we're going back to that. Like I say, I was born in 1972. I was put on a diet by hospital because I was obese.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So saying that the one I was obese at the age of like I'd have been 9. I think I weighed nearly 15 stone.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I was obese at then.
Well, I remember.
But my addiction is not to meat or all like that. It's how much I eat. That's my addiction. That's what I have to struggle with is how much I eat.
But this is my point. This is my point, Benny.
Yeah.
You could eat what I eat. I can eat as much as I want, and I will. It's impossible for me to put weight on. I can fill my stomach up 10 times a day.
What's a typical meal plan for you then? Just to go through from when you wake up to when you go to bed.
Well, this morning I had porridge with blueberries, strawberries, some golden syrup, big squeeze of golden syrup, 100 grams of it, vegan milk on it. Then at dinner time, I had a big block of tofu, about that big full block with red peppers in it.
Red peppers.
I just put turmeric on it, curry powder, bit of garlic, onions. The plate was up there.
And what is this tofu? What is it?
What it is, it's soya bean, and what they do is they break it down, soak it, and make it into a curd, like a cheese block. It's like a cheese block, but it tastes of nothing. It doesn't taste of anything, so it soaks up flavour. But it's got mega. You see, because I'm a bodybuilder and because I do sports, it's got nearly in one block. It's nearly 45 grams of protein, hardly any fat, and very low carbs. So it's nearly a day's protein. It's like half the protein requirements I need for a day.
Yeah, so you don't need meat, do you, for it? You don't need meat then, do you? A lot of sports stars are now coming out. I mean, really successful sports stars that are saying that they've had a vegan-based diet for years. Yeah. And you think, fucking hell, they built like brick shit houses and they're only eating fucking vegetables and stuff.
And you know what it is these athletes. Could you recommend a vape for Helen?
A vape? What a flavour?
Yeah, she wants something that isn't too sweet. She currently smokes Vape's blueberry, I believe.
This one's a nice one. You can't really see it there, but it's a company called Just Juice, and that is a premium brand, and it's blue raspberry. But my particular favourite, but it could be too sweet for you, is Dr. Vape's.
Oh, you've got a new customer here, Big D.
Hey?
New customer. How much percentage do I get? She's one of my viewers.
You haven't got an online store yet.
Yeah, I used to have an online store, but I knocked it on the head because I needed to concentrate on my bricks and mortar shop because there's a lot of competition out there. So I thought when I get more established in my shop, then I'll reopen my online store.
So you can get a trip to Hebden Bridge, Helen.
You can get these online, Helen. Dr. Vapes is a very good brand, and this is blackcurrant cotton candy. It's lovely stuff. But
I love the candy floss.
It's that nice.
Love candy floss flavors. Them are my favorite ones. As a person of color, fat kids were just as rare as ethnic kids back in the 70s, 80s. I know I was one. If two black kids in the whole, one of two black kids in the whole year. Yeah, we only had a couple of black kids in our year as well. Yeah, it's funny how things have gone because in the 70s, God, we were racist as fuck. We had bleeding. What did we have? We had all the comedians. Yeah, Bernard Manning, all them. Love Thy Neighbour. All
he was racist. He just hated everybody.
Yeah, he did actually.
That's what he said. He said, "Are you racist?" He said, "No, I just hate everybody."
And we had all the paedophiles on TV.
Yeah, you did miss Havels.
I mean, I wrote to Jim will Fix It asking to meet Gary Glitter. I could have been.
Could have been in the sandwich, couldn't you?
Yeah. Oh my God! If you've granted that wish for me, my God. I don't know how we got through the 70s, Benny. I don't know how we did it.
Well, I remember as well. What's that guy called? He had a Netflix series, Joe something or other. He was Australian, and I tried his diet where it was just basically vegetables and fruits juiced up.
Yes.
He's an Australian dude. He did it for like 6 months, and I did it for 4 months, and I lost 6 stone in 4 months. But I'll tell you something, I felt so fit. My fucking eye colour had changed to a light blue, and my skin went so good. And I went on holiday, and that's when I fucked myself up because then I started eating fucking what I wanted again. But I do want to do that again because that's the fittest I've ever felt in my life, just doing these drinks.
You see, the thing is, this is what I was talking to Benny about before. Is that, for example, mate, if I give you a pint of orange juice, pure orange juice, you could neck that down. There'd be 12 oranges in that juice, yeah? However, if I give you an orange to eat, and you ate that, and I give you another orange to eat, you probably max out about 3 oranges.
Yeah.
And this is where where we're getting lost with how many calories we're having. I mean, I've got a calorie counter now called MyFitnessPal, and I just scan barcodes and it tells me how many calories. And it amazes me how many calories are in certain foods. It like, I scan a loaf of bread and say I'm having 2 slices. It's like fucking 200, 300 calories. It's like, whoa, hold on a minute. You know what?
That's what I did. That's what I did to lose my 2.5 stone.
Yeah.
Was cut things. No, I didn't totally go bang. I'm not eating anything. Do you know what I mean? But I just cut out things that I knew were going to be, you know, like chocolate and things like that. Do you know what I mean? That I knew were going to drop my weight. That I used to eat a lot of. You know, cut out, like say, 100% were energy drinks because I used to drink that like mad. You know, there's no worse with sugar in than energy drinks. You know, and I felt a lot better afterwards. But going back to where you're, as on my side of things, and I'm trying to understand, like you going to vegan, I understand that part of it is the cruelty to animals, which I get. You know, I totally get that. It used to be worse when we were the kids. You know, I've seen many faces of death, and you'll have probably seen it in that were out that how they used to, it was inhumane, how they used to kill the animals and things like that. You know what I mean? I know some of it still goes on. But,
yes, I do, Coach.
Pardon?
I'm just answering that question.
Yeah, LJ there. Yeah.
Yeah. But as you eating non-meat products and eating, you know, plant-based products, why do you need to take vitamins then? If you've got supplements to complement your diet, because you're not getting it from the meat, are you?
What vitamins am I taking, Benny?
Well, I don't know. Do you take? Because
no.
You're not taking any supplements at all?
Oh, why would I? I get everything.
No, that's what I'm asking you. Because a lot of it says
no, this is what I mean. This is where LJ McCutcheon just said before that a relative went vegan, but it made her ill and they went back. You've got to plan things carefully. Now, what we get hit with a lot as vegans is, you're lacking in B12. Okay, have you heard this argument? Right. Now, what it is with B12 is that B12's in bread, B12's in the milks we have, B12's in everything, right? We are now, because this is one argument that we get hit with so many times, any vegan you talk to now is aware of B12. So they make an effort. But the problems with B12 is absorption, not the source. We're getting plenty of B12. Everybody gets B12. The animals you eat are injected with B12 and it's put in the food. That's the only reason you get B12 from meat. Yeah. But you might not be absorbing it. Now, there's where the problem lies, is that you've got all these, like 90% of the country don't even worry about B12, but it's an issue. I've got a spray. That's the only one I take is a spray that's spraying the cheek because I'm over 50 and I might have absorption issues. But the whole population should be supplementing B12 because it's not a vegan specific thing. It's the entire population. Because we used to get B12 from eating fruits and vegetables off the floor with dirt on them. Yeah. Because B12 is a microbe that lives in soil and dirty water. We used to drink dirty water. Now, like you said, with the water, it's got chlorine in it. It kills this B12 bacteria. So it's not a vegan-specific sort of problem. As far as the other vitamins, I'm very careful to look at what vitamins I can get from everything. Vitamin D is we get from the sun. Yeah. But we can get it from brown mushrooms because brown mushrooms absorb vitamin D from the sun also. That's why they go brown. So once you're clever and once you start looking at stuff and being clever about it, there's no problem. There's no problem. You should be taking B12, Benny.
Yeah, I probably should, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so what it is with veganism is that people try and find excuses not to do it. Yeah. And they come back with any reason not to do it. And this is the arguments that they put to me. I've had them a million times.
You've got to be dedicated, though, to the cause, haven't you? It becomes like a religion, in fact, because you've got to do everything. Like you said, you've got to find out what you can have and when you can have it, blah, 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 blah. And most people like me, Benny and Ian, we're lazy to that.
I just like me.
Yeah, I said to Danny before. If somebody could make me a vegan meal 3 times a day, I'd be happy. But I'm just too lazy to fucking go through all the rigmarole, getting it all together. And preparing it.
But you make it. Sorry, Ian, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
But you're making it sound as though it's really hard, right?
It seems it.
It seems it. See, so that's the thing. You've not even tried. You've not.
Yeah.
I'll give you a challenge to do, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Next time you go on your big shop, right?
Yeah.
Go into your Tesco or your Asda, whichever one's your local one. Go and look for some vegan stuff in the freezers, in the fridges, or wherever. Go and have a look and see what you can find. And it'll be like, pop, wow. Because you're not looking, I know you've got a route that you go on. You go up this aisle, get your veggies, then you go up to the meat aisle, get your chicken, then you go over to there, and then you end up in the beer aisle.
You been fucking spying on me?
You see what I mean, though? Until it's in your psyche, you're not gonna. So it seems you perceive it to be hard, but it's not, mate. I'm the laziest bastard going. Believe me, I can't be asked. There's loads of ready meals out there. They're not the healthiest meals, but I can get a curry in a pack, throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, throw the rice in, Uncle Ben's rice, microwave, bang into a plate, done. You know, it's not bigger.
Yeah. So you say about the beer aisle. How does alcohol stand in the whole world of vegan?
So we've got something called isinglass. Have you heard of that?
No.
Right, isinglass is fish guts, and that's what they filter some beers, some wines through to get some cloudiness out of it or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure someone will help me. So there's a thing called an online app called Barnivore that you plug in your beer. There's lots of beers. I think Heineken is, and Stella is vegan. There's lots of beers and wines out there that is vegan. So it is a sort of minefield, but there is ways around it. For every problem that we've encountered, there's always an answer to it or an app, you know. So it's getting easier.
What was that? Barnivore.
Barnivore, yeah. Barnivore. Yeah, Barnivore. I'm sure it is.
Can I ask you something as well, Dan? Well, I remember as well. Does drinking like supermarket milk give men titties?
Right. Okay. Yes, that's a definite.
Because mine are pretty big.
Yeah. but that might be fat tits, right? Chippy tits. Because,
yeah, chippy tits.
Chippy tits. I've had these since I was a kid, mate.
It's getting bigger as I'm getting older.
Milkman.
Right. What you're doing with milk is you're ingesting estrogen. Yeah. And the farmers inject the cows with more estrogen so they produce milk for longer. So what you're doing is you're ingesting female hormones. They've also linked dairy to breast cancer, because when women overdose on estrogen, this is what happens. It causes breast cancer. And with men, all men, when they get to middle age, seem to get moobs. Well, I haven't got any, and I stopped milk 5 years ago. Yeah. Milk is also connected to acne in teens. I used to drink 5 pints of milk a day when I was a kid, and I had acne till I was 25 years old. Asthma, eczema.
Yeah, is it related to sinus issues as well, or something with milk?
Yeah, what it causes, inflammation, in cell inflammation, and it causes mucus reaction to it also.
Is there any foods in particular that's bad for asthmatics? Because I am asthmatic, and I noticed since I started vaping, it's gone a lot better. But
give up the dairy, D, and I'm telling you now, right? You won't see it again in 4 weeks. Just give up the dairy. You've got over 50 different milks to try out. There's one especially for tea and coffee called Ultimate Barista Formable. It's in a grey carton. You pour that into hot coffee, it doesn't break up. It tastes. I give it to my mum. She's in her 70s. She didn't even know the difference.
Right.
So give it 4 weeks. Try it. What have you got to lose? Fuck all, mate.
Yeah. You know what you should do? You've got a Facebook page, haven't you? You should put like a meal plan on there so people can go and check it out.
Maybe.
When did you start doing this, Dan?
When did I start doing what? Sorry.
When did you become a vegan? When did you change to be a vegan? When did you take the choice to be a vegan?
What happened was, my son is 18 now, but back in the day, over 6 years ago, I'm thinking, right, my son's like 10 years old now, 11 years old now. By the time I get to my 60s, he'll be 25-year-old, and
hold on, my phone's ringing. I don't know who's ringing. Just a second.
So basically, what I was thinking was,
ring back.
Come on, Benny, get it
Tell
together.
fuck off, Benny, you're on a live show.
He just wrong.
Airplane
Fucking
mode.
hell, you won't do that on a live show. Fucking end the
Sorry,
call.
I'm dealing with amateurs
I
here.
picked it up and it suddenly started ringing. Sorry. Sorry.
So back to your question.
Sorry about that, Dan.
It's
Sorry
all right,
about that,
mate. Don't worry about it. Don't bring
Rookie
these
mistake, mate.
reprobates
Rookie
onto my
mistake.
stream again, will you?
Yeah. Go on, so sorry, you were saying.
So it was health. It was basically health reasons. I didn't want to be a burden on people when I was older. I'm approaching, like, I'm in the last decade to get to my 60s. So I'm thinking, I want to still be running about. Why do I have to get old? Why do I have to get old people symptoms like arthritis and and all this stuff and So I started juicing fruits and vegetables, and I found that after about a month of that, I was feeling a lot better. Everything was sort of like great. And then I thought, right, okay, let's take this a little bit further. And I went pescatarian. I stopped all meat and started just eating fish because I believed in the protein myth that you can only get protein from animals. And then I read a book that somebody gave me called Meat is for Pussies by a guy called John Joseph. He's in a band called the Cro-Mags, a punk band from the 80s. He was a big drug addict. He went to prison. He came out with this sort of like vegan thing in his head that someone had pushed to him. And now he's doing Ironman triathlons and he's beating kids half his age. And I thought, wow. And he went through all the pharmaceutical doctor thing. He didn't go through the tree hugging stuff or all that. He went through the pragmatic stuff, the doctors, the pharmaceutical industries. So that's what made me think, right, this weekend I'm going to try it. And I never went back. And I've just researched it because I can't, I've got to know why. I always ask questions. And when people say, because it is, that's not enough for me. I keep poking them. But this is why I've lost so many jobs, because they'll say, you're not supposed to do that. Why not? Well, you're not supposed to do it. Why not? I want to know why not. And then I'll stop doing it. Well, I can't tell you why not. Well, I'm going to still do it then until you tell me why not. That's the kind of person I am. So, it's like, I need an answer. I don't want, because that's the way it is. I want to know why.
Yeah, you are quite vocal, aren't you, Dan? I've noticed in a few things you are quite vocal, especially in politics.
I noticed that when I watched a couple. Just also on that, so you took the choice and you decided for health benefits that you would do this. Why do you think it's suddenly become, like, as you would say, that I'm not going to say, I'll say it, the in thing to be everybody say the vegan?
Right. So you're saying, why is it a trendy? Is it become a trend?
Yeah, because it's just suddenly in the last probably, I'd say 18 months, there's more shops popping up for vegan cafes, and it's just suddenly seems to have sprung up. It hasn't just suddenly happened, has it? It hasn't just suddenly become. There's never been.
I think there's more demand.
Yeah, it just suddenly seems in the last 18 months everything's gone that everything's vegan. Your McDonald's doing vegan, food's coming out vegan, your cafes are doing vegan, your Costa's doing vegan. Everybody all of a sudden just seems, wherever you go, it's all vegan.
Right, okay.
Why it suddenly become this, like say, a bit of a trend to be.
Okay. I've got a really good answer for you. A really, really good fucking answer for that. What were we talking about before? About when e-cigs started?
When what, sorry?
When e-cigs started, when they came out.
Yeah, word of mouth, yes.
Word of mouth. Okay, so people were latching onto something that hold on a minute, this is healthy, this is not causing problems, this is stopping things, So what's happening with the vegan movement is it's been going on a very long time. It's been going on 30, 40 years. And it's slowly built up. And what happens is, like, for me now, there's how many people are watching this? There's 11 people on now. Now, just say those people weren't vegan, but because of what I've said today, they suddenly try to go vegan, and they do it, and they realize it's healthy, and then they're not causing abuse to animals. So they go on to tell a few people each. So that's then like 50, 60 people suddenly get told about it who wouldn't normally get exposed to it. And that's what's been happening over the last few years. Then, because there's more and more people demanding, because everything's demand-led. I mean, like, the reason that the meat industry is like it is because it's demand-led. Yeah. So once people start demanding vegan products, then these companies think, oh, hold on a minute, we can make a bit of money here. Greg's is the #1 sort of example, bringing the sausage roll out, and their sales went through the roof. Once they realise, then other companies see that Greggs have started doing this. So it's like a snowball effect. So once Greg do it and make a profit, then McDonald's did it and made a profit, then the other companies. Now it's a multi-billion-pound company, veganism, and people have. But because of that, now it's more accessible. What Dan was saying earlier about it's not convenient. It is convenient now because you can go into the high street and buy a vegan product anywhere. So it's making it easier for people. So more and more people are now trying it because it's more convenient. And it's not going to stop now. It's not a trend. It's an awakening to what's happening. Yeah. I had people, and I myself thought that cows that ate grass produced milk. They had to be milked to get rid of the milk. I didn't realise they got fisted and sexually abused and had the children shot. And then they repeated this behaviour over and over till they couldn't produce milk. And then they were shot in the fucking head. I didn't know any of that. And once you're awoke to that fact, how can you be part of it? How can you give money for people to do this on your behalf? And that's my line of thinking on it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what isn't it? Well, that's what you're basically doing. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for murder. You're paying for animal abuse. And I can't do that. I wouldn't do that to a dog. I wouldn't do it. I mean, people say, why are vegans so vocal? And it's because if you saw someone kicking a dog to fuck down the road, you'd speak up about it. You wouldn't shut up. But people wouldn't turn around to you and say, why are you ramming this down my throat about dogs being abused down the road? Do you see what I mean? And it's because we're conditioned, like we were talking about before, about conditioning. We're conditioned that dogs and cats are friends, cows, chickens, pigs are food, which it isn't the case.
Unless you live in China, where every fucking
everything is based on
every animal is edible.
But now we're paying the price for that behaviour.
I've just seen a comment from Dan Barden. He's a local tattooist in Home Firth. He just said then, what did he say now? What are your views on insect-based protein?
Well, again, I mean, right. Let me answer that with this statement. Right, there's 75 billion artificially bred land animals on the planet. Right, 75 billion. They're all being fed crops that are grown specifically to feed them. 85% of the crops on this planet are grown to feed animals that in turn feed less people. There's only 7 billion people on the planet. We are producing enough food to feed 75 billion animals that eat way more food than we do, yet there's 6 million people on this planet starving to death.
Yeah.
Why do we need to eat insects? We could feed every single person on this planet and give 70% of that land back to nature and not do anything with it, leave it alone. You know, so this is the reasoning behind it all.
I didn't even know the insect protein thing was a thing.
I personally looked into it. Believe me, I've looked into it before I was vegan. I was sort of plant-based. Plant-based is when you stop eating animal products for health reasons. Right. Yeah, that's what you call yourself, plant-based. So when I was plant-based, I seriously looked into insects. I even got an email from a guy who's got a farm and farms locusts and all that to eat. That wouldn't bother me. You know, I mean, meat's meat. We're all made of meat. No, never tried them.
No,
I've swallowed a few running down the road or on my bike. I've even inhaled a few. You know what I mean?
But, I've done that.
Especially one that's been on a big lump of dog shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, I don't think I could do that actually.
Veganism has been around for centuries. Just now, with more information to hand out about what lands on the plate. Correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we got appendix in it, because we used to eat grass all the time.
Well, we're actually produce an enzyme in our saliva to break down carbohydrates, and we've actually got a long intestine to break down plant fiber. That's the reason we've got flattened teeth and side-to-side jaw to break down seeds and nuts. We've got tricolour vision so that we can see different colours of plants when they're ripe. We can see red apples on the tree. This is why we've got tricolour vision. True carnivores don't have tricolour vision. They just have like a black and white vision. Proper omnivores that people claim we are like bears. Bears have got big fuck off claws and scissor-like teeth that go up and down. You know, that's a true omnivore. A dog's an omnivore. You know, it's like.
Am I correct in thinking that cyclists in big cities obviously can't have this tri-vision? Just can't.
Yes, I get what you mean. Yeah, they can't see red light. It's exactly. Don't forget, I'm a trucker, mate. I've squashed a few. I haven't. Joke. No lawsuits, please. What's LJ McCutcheon is really trolling me at the moment. Let's have a look. I never go to vegan diet. I love the meat. I am a meat eater. Well, that being the case may be, but when you've had your heart attack or stroke, which I hope you don't, please come to me and I'll tell you how to reverse it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like Joe Cross was saying, that plant-based diet's the best thing because, before you know it, when you get to 50, you're on the verge of having a heart attack. You've got diabetes, you've got arthritis, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's been proven that a plant-based diet reverses atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is the condition where fat particles start sticking to your artery walls.
Yeah.
And that's when your cholesterol gets so high. My cholesterol is 2.1. I can guarantee every single one of yours will be over 4. I can guarantee it.
I don't even want to do mine.
And mine was 6 before I went vegan. Now it's 2.5. The safe limit is 3. And atherosclerosis is when fat particles start sticking to the inside of your arteries. Eventually, by eating a plant-based diet, it reverses it. It's been proven by Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn has done experiments on people. He's done angiograms and everything. And it's proven that it reverses within 3 weeks of a plant-based diet. You can reverse atherosclerosis. It's fucking amazing.
They've done it with diabetes and asthmatics as well, haven't they? Where they've just got rid of it.
Yeah. Come off the medication because people falsely believe that it's carbohydrates that give you diabetes, but it's not. Because we use carbohydrates in a different way. It's processed carbs like sugars and stuff like that and sweets. And that's what causes the problems.
Do you not have like fruit drinks like pure orange juice? Would you rather have the actual oranges instead of the juice?
Well, I'd rather have about 19 cups of coffee because I'm still on my diet. So it suppresses my appetite. But no, I'd rather drink fruit juices, mate. Dilute ones where you pour water in. I normally get bottles of water, spring water, and that's what I normally drink.
Yeah. Oh. It's been an eye-opener, really. This
show. It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, it's been an eye-opener for me as well because I've learnt off you guys. You know what I mean? Feel a bit more secure. Yeah. But I think we should wrap it up there now because we've been talking way too long. And
sorry about phone.
I'm getting. Hey, don't worry about it. You're on me. You're on my list now. You're off my Christmas card list.
Yeah, so, I don't even know what happened. I picked my phone and suddenly started doing what he wanted.
I've rung people before now, mate, in my pocket so many times. It's unbelievable. Even video called them, and I'm like,
that's what that
phone up and someone's looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what that one. I'm like, I couldn't stop it. I didn't know what because I couldn't see what it was doing. It wasn't doing all.
Well, listen, guys, I am going to wrap it up because I'm getting hungry now after talking about food, and I'm going to go outside and eat some grass and leaves because that's what vegans eat. But thanks for that. Don't forget, Dan, you promised me, these two guys heard you promise that you'd send me one of these extra special vapes over. You high.
Yeah, I mean, I was
going
to ask you, do you want to try nicotine salts or do you just want to try free-based ones?
I might have a trip down to your shop, actually.
Yeah, you're welcome at my shop anytime,
I haven't got a temperature at the moment. And
I can always send you some fruit post anyway.
We'll sort that out when we're after. But so listen, Ian, Above the Clouds, that's your website or your YouTube channel, Above the Clouds. If people want to look for you, Benny Vapes, what's your YouTube channel called?
Benny Vapes.
Benny Vapes. There we go. Nice and simple. Benny Vapes. Look for Benny Vapes on YouTube and Big D Vapes on YouTube. I think he's got a little banner behind his head there on the left. But thanks a lot for this, guys.
Cheers, Danny.
It's been interesting.
We'll have to get you on NUVS.
Yeah, do it, mate. Let me know when you want me on. But the problem is I work weekends, so I won't be on the farm on a Sunday night. So
it's all right.
During the week it'd be cool.
Yeah. It's all right. It's just basically, we do a Sunday show, obviously, on my channel with all of us. And if you can, whenever you're free, do you know what I mean? If you do have a free weekend and you want to come on, by all means come on, because we have a different audience than what you've got. Come on, people are in the chat at the moment that are from, different from the vaping side of things. But, you'll obviously get different questions than what you're getting now. So, you can put your side of things. It's just a different show, isn't it? It's a different.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some, because I should imagine there's not going to be many vegans on your channel.
No, I mean, that's all.
The thing is, though, there is.
It'd be nice to get some questions.
There's quite a few people in the vaping industry who are vegans. Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Probably more than we think, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to get you on and talk about that side of things. So you're more than welcome to come on. Just let us know whenever you're free. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Grab us on Facebook. You two, Ian.
Well,
grab us
Danny
on
can do it,
Facebook. Yeah, and then we can chat, and then I can let you know. But
Yeah,
right,
great.
brilliant. I'm going to end the broadcast.
See you later,
Bye,
guys.
chat. Thanks,
Thank
chat.
you.